He's an American trends forecaster, publisher of the Trends Journal, business consultant, and author who makes predictions about the global financial markets and other events of historical importance. Celente has described himself as a political atheist and a citizen of the world. He has appeared as a guest on television news shows such as The Oprah Winfrey Show, The Today Show, Good Morning America, CBS News, Glenn Beck's NBC Nightly News. The list goes on and on. His forecast since '93, he was doing it before that unofficially, best-selling author, have included predictions about terrorism, economic collapse, and war. More recent forecasts involve fascism in the United States, food riots, and tax revolts. Celente has long predicted global anti-Americanism, a falling economy, immigration woes in the U.S. In December of '07, Celente wrote, failing banks, busted bet for panic in the streets, and just as the Twin Towers collapse from the top down, so will the U.S. economy. When the giant firms fall, they will crush the man on the street. He has also predicted tax revolts. He predicted the Tea Party. And it just goes on and on, ladies and gentlemen. He appeared in '08 on the Fox Business Network and predicted the economic depression, tax rebellions, food riots by 2012. That's now beginning worldwide. So he also predicted economic 9/11 and the panic of '08. And he talked about Obamageddon. What's scary is he came out, it's got to be 9-10 months ago now, and said on this very broadcast, he said it first here, and it made attention, caught attention of media all over the world. He said, it's going down. I love to do imitations, but I'm not going to do it. But he said, it's going down by December. The dollar's going down, gold's going up. He said, the housing thing has only begun. And I mean, it's literally prophecy. And here's gold up at close to 1,400. The mortgage scam, we've learned, is just completely mafioso by the white shoe boys, as he calls them. And it is so insane that even though I've known about this for a long time and talked about it as well, it's still something to know it intellectually, but to have a front row seat to your own roasting. And so we'll talk with Gerald about everything that he's been right about. I wish he was wrong. I wish I was wrong. Gerald Celente, good to have you here with us.
Buongiorno, Alex. Thanks for doing all you were doing, and I wish you the best of good fortune.
And, I mean, you talk about calling it. The mainstream media hasn't fully admitted it, but anybody who looks at the evidence knows it's here. How did you do that, Gerald? You got a crystal ball up there?
No. Current events form future trends. If you read the facts and you analyze them, and you go beyond the political hype and the lies coming out of Wall Street, you really can see what's going to go on, but people don't want to face it. So they believe for how long that the stimulus was going to work. We said it as soon as it happened, that it wasn't a recovery, it was a cover-up. They've just been covering it up worldwide with this cheap money. And look what's going on, Alex. There's a currency war going on. And that's not my words. Those are the words of the Brazilian finance minister, Manteiga. And what's going on is that in order for we said they were going to devalue their way out of this. And they're doing it in front of our eyes. And not only the U.S., now it's a whole war out there. Japan's trying to lower their value of their currency. China, as we know, continues to lower the value of their currency. One country after another, it's in a race. So what's the bottom line? Gold prices are going up. You don't have to be a genius to figure this one out. But people also don't want to believe that their country is going under. They invested so many people invested so much of their mental capital into believing in hope and change we can believe in, that they don't want to admit that they've been had. And the big had is that we're going into the worst economic times in modern history.
Is saying, hey, I'm not eating food, you're just eating empty calories. And you predicted, I remember 4 years ago on this show, and on your own Trends Journal, Gerald, and on other shows, you, with precision, predicted the next big bubble after housing would be the colleges. Now they're admitting it's basically worthless, most degrees, and a total scam. You predicted all this. You predicted the financial implosion that's currently happening, the second wave. So you're saying this drugged out, stressed out mass of Prozac, fluoride, aspartame, I mean, they admit that McDonald's and other companies and almost all TV dinners have a, quote, foaming agent that is silicone, deadly poison to your kidneys. And so you're saying we're just going to see this accelerating.
Exactly. And then, again, you don't have to be, put it together. How could anybody not? So now what happens is you build that stress level on top of this weakened host, and you're in trouble.
Now, all the economic data is coming out, just piling onto your predictions. So go over your past prediction and then tell us currently where we're at and any tweaking on your forecast of where we're going.
Well, in 2004, actually, we wrote in the Trends Journal, and it's on our website, trendsjournal.com, that by the end of 2007, we'd enter, quote, the Great Recession. In 2007, we warned, we even took the domain name out, and it was one of our top trends for 2008, the panic of '08. Then we forecast in '08 the collapse of '09. The markets collapsed in March of '09. And the only thing that they did was to pump them up with bailout and stimulus money worldwide. China, all of Europe, the UK, Australia, Japan, South Korea, you name the company, that's the right word. I meant to say country, but company fits because that's the ones they're bailing out. The banks, the big companies, they flooded the world with stimulus money. The games ran out. The game ran out with the Greek crisis. So now what we have is we're going into the greatest depression. However, they're also taking us on the path to war. And this is what we wrote when the bailouts began. When the bailout bubble bursts, when all else fails, they become emboldened by their failures and they take us to war. That's what we fear is next. Looking at, again, current events form future trends. What's the Dow at now, Alex? It's at March 1999 levels. Hey, stay in the market. Don't worry about it. This is a buying opportunity. You have to be in it for the long term. What was gold doing back in 1999? Oh, it was around $250 an ounce. Oh, and what's it today? Oh, around $1,200 an ounce. But you know, buy stock, and they make fun of everybody that wants to buy gold, particularly the toilet paper of record. They call us gold bugs. I do a lot of speaking engagements around the world, and this is my favorite kind of group to come to because you have a community of souls whose objective is to be the best that they could be and to reach the highest levels. So anytime you're talking to a group of people like that with free minds and with no barriers, it makes it a lot easier for my kind of work because as a trend forecaster, there are no barriers. Wealth Masters has no restrictions. Anybody could become and reach any height that they want. So it's the perfect venue for someone like me who believes the same thing. I created my own profession. It didn't exist. No such thing as a trend forecaster. They don't teach it in college. So I relate perfectly to this because there are no boundaries. You visualize your future and you make it happen. So in knowing that, that's what this group is about, it's exciting for me to be a part of it. By providing information and knowledge that they might not have, because as I see what Wealth Masters does, it teaches people to move forward in a manner that is knowledge-based, as well as, of course, your instinct. So I provide a level of knowledge that's not accessible in many other areas, trend knowledge. So to me, it's a perfect fit because in order for these people, in order for Wealth Masters to achieve their goals and the people in the community, they have to move forward with the best knowledge that they have. So when the future comes, they're not taken by surprise. In this economic era, Wealth Masters is vital to anyone that wants to weather the storm coming ahead. I remember reading in Two Journeys, One Road, a section by Kip, and he mentioned how in the Great Depression, there were great opportunities. More wealth was created then than any time before then. The same thing is going to happen now. The losers are going to be the people that try to recreate the past and retrofit it. But we are going, what we believe, into the greatest recession, even worse. So there's going to be many, many opportunities for people looking in new directions. Life's going to go on. It's not going to come to a screeching halt. People will still buy more than they need. They'll still spend more than they have. Are you going to supply them with those needs and wants? And what this does, what Wealth Masters does, you don't go down with the ship. You rise above the storm. And that's why it's going to be valuable in this current economic storm. It's going to be a time of the greatest transfer of wealth at any time in living history. And people should really jump on board now to see the opportunities, and there will be plenty of them. But it's moving ahead on a knowledge base, as well as the gut. Now, the gut doesn't lie in certain things, but you have to have the real knowledge too.